What's good, Josh? Your man DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast, man. And you know, if I'm not hanging out with my dude Keith, there's somebody that I gotta rock with that always got a lot of ideas, always got a lot of vision, always got something to say, and that's my dude Spec. What's good, brother?
You already know, brother. I'm here. I told you I'll be back.
Yeah, he ain't never lie. You know what I mean? Shout out to Spec back in the building. What's good with you? How's life?
Same old, brother. Just Sunday.
Sunday
it was
fun
a
day.
long night, tired morning, but I'm here. I'm ready.
That's what it is, man. What you been up to lately? I was showing you when you had first pulled up. Let me adjust my microphone here. When you had first pulled up, I was showing you the little mud flap install I had done on my car. What was that? Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, that took longer than I expected. But I was watching YouTube videos on it, and the dude who actually did it said it took a little minute for him too. So I was like, if it took a minute for him, I knew I'm a novice to it. Like, I'm new to like shit like that. I never really got into it. With my bike was the first time I had did a pedal had broke.
Okay.
I replaced the pedal on it, and then I installed the kickstand. But shit like that, I've never really been into, bro.
YouTube makes you a pro, man.
They do 100% YouTube for everything.
I don't know
100%.
what I would do sometimes without YouTube. Anything
100%.
I need done, pull up YouTube
Mm-hmm.
or Google.
But I feel like I don't know. I feel I wanted to get into starting to do stuff like that, like with my hands and starting to like. You get tired of paying people, and then you start being like, how much am I paying this dude to really do? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, let me try it myself.
No, a lot of things you could do DIY.
You could. And even like, I don't even know, they can't see it, but it's like a little engine, like a toy engine kit. Like you put it together, like, and it's like a car engine. And I had picked that up. My girl had picked that up because she seen me like looking at it, and she was like, why are you looking at it? And I was just like, I just want to do shit like this, like just start putting shit together. I don't know, like little like. Even cars, like them little hobby cars that dudes be putting together and shit like that, like, fuck it, why not? Just, I don't know, I just kind of see myself getting into it, so then it kind of, just kind of fell in place that this year I start fucking around with the bike, and then, like I said, my mud flap install, came out real dope yesterday, so, I don't know, just trying new things, bro.
Okay, all right.
How you been, though? You got the new crib, this year, right? It was in 2022, or was it 21?
Nah, 21.
21?
We surpassed the year mark at the end of August.
Okay.
August 28th, to be exact.
I'm assuming in that year, you probably did a lot of home projects and things around there.
A ton.
Yeah. How's that go? Like, good, some went left?
I mean, nothing that... The only things that may have went left was in the beginning when I thought I was an electrician and trying to fuck with electrical shit. You know, you quickly learn there's certain things that, you know, you're going to do, and there's certain things you're going to pay somebody to do. You know, electrical is just one of those things I ain't really... You know, I'll do basic shit, but, yeah, most things, when it comes to electrical, I'm going to just hire that out.
Yeah, well, niggas go to school for it, so there's a reason, you know what I mean? People go to school for shit like that, but
Yeah, but other than that, you know, I love to get my hands dirty, so, you know, it works out.
Nah, that's beautiful, man. I'm trying to think, what else? This week was cool. I went to back to school night at my daughter's school, and they haven't had that for 2 years. It's just
back to school night. So
it's like basically you can meet your teachers, you can meet your kids' teachers, you can see the class they actually are in. You know what the curriculum's going to be, and you know, due to COVID, it was something that we couldn't do for 2 years. So now it's something that I think that obviously it's back now, and it was very depressing. I'm not gonna lie, bro, because it's just like you see. It's like watching The Wire. You ever watch? Did you watch The Wire?
I watched a few episodes. I never got
into it. Yeah,
no.
But there's like the 5th season of The Wire. They deal with the kids and in the schools, and they show like, you know, like some of the deficiencies and shit that's going on. And that's really what I felt like I was sitting at, because my kids in public school. We are just in the inner city. You know what I'm saying? Right. It doesn't really feel like it, but we are. You know what I mean? And just overpacked classrooms. Kids with behavioral problems might be just right in the regular classrooms, not getting the attention they deserve. Certain curriculum has to be cut out because of the day. Okay. Because of the time of the day. They don't have time. Yeah. Right. So they got to make them pass. There's a statewide test at the end of the year. Right. So they really preparing them for that, as opposed to maybe talking about social studies. Right, that'll be the first thing to get cut off and stuff like that. And that's what she was being real with us. Probably more honest than she probably had to be about what's really happening. The music teacher don't got a room no more because they had to take her room from her to make it a classroom.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's shit like that, bro. It's just like. I don't know. It really makes you want to step your game up financially, so you could give your kid those advantages that you know that other people have, and that, you know what I mean. So I don't know, like, I guess depressing was the wrong word to use. Maybe inspirational probably be a better way, because
it's all about how you frame shit.
Yeah.
So inspirational versus depressing, I think would be the better term.
Yeah, 100%, man. No, but yeah, all in all, which I already kind of knew too. It kind of reminded me that my kid's education is in my hands probably a lot more than I know. So I got to make sure that the lesson of slavery or Black History Month or just what happened to the indigenous people in this country, like, I don't know, it's weird. It's a catch-22 because it's like I didn't learn that stuff till I was a little bit older.
Right.
So maybe I got to give her the grace.
And the reality is, I mean, we don't know. I mean, I don't know what the curriculums are now, but she may not even learn about that stuff.
No, she really may not.
So.
Actually, she told me something about indigenous people the other day that I was kind of like, all right, whoa, I don't think it's nothing like that. She was like, they were killing women and children, and I was like, whoa. Slow down. I was like, there were good people on both sides. I had to quote Trump, and I was like, there's bad people on both sides. But no, man, it's life, bro. It is what it is. You just live and learn, and you want the most for your kid.
The thing with the schools is, like you was just bringing up in terms of there's only but so much time in the day that they have to cram all of this stuff into. So, a lot of cases, the kids, they're only getting one side of the story, or just a small piece of the story.
Very small, yeah.
When there is, they may get 30% of the story when there's still 70% that, they should be knowing, right? And it's just all about what they want us to know.
Yeah. Well, history is written by the winners, right?
That's it.
So, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta respect that, because it is true. And I told her that. I don't think she understood what I was saying, but it was like, yeah, the people who win write it, so we gotta accept that that's what it is, and that's what it comes down to. But all in all, it really just told me that, like, yeah, you really, and then you really gotta monitor it too, because you might think your kid's getting a certain level of attention in school, and they really not.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they gotta stop for the kid that might need a few extra. And she just said it. She was like, the kids who pick it up real fast, they help out the other students, and they do that. But then you think, for every time you got to do that, they don't move forward. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's all a time battle. But yeah, in lighter news, she got a birthday coming up, so that's been kicking my ass. Preparing for that lately. But
time flies.
Time flies. Yeah, man. Yeah, 8 years, man. It grows you up too.
Big time. Real quick.
You see yourself? Are you? Well, not to get too personal, but I don't. Like, I kind of do want to have another kid. But I don't know. It's like, because I'm getting older too. So like, what was I watching? It was The Breakfast Club. It's Viola Davis and the Woman King. I think. Yeah. Okay. And she was talking about she has a 12-year-old, and earlier in the interview, she said she was a 50-something-year-old woman, and I'm like, 50-something-year-old woman with a 12-year-old, old as hell. And then I did the math. If I had a kid today,
I think about that all the time, man.
I
think about that all the time, because before I first started having, before I only have one child, but before that, I always said I wanted at least 2 kids.
Okay.
But I didn't have my first kid until I was 34 or 35, something like 34, 35. I had my first kid.
Okay.
And so, all I remember is, like, that first year, the lack of sleep that I got.
I remember you talking about that a lot. We spoke about that a lot.
I'm 38 now, going on 39 in a few months, and it's just like, oh man,
that lack of sleep got me
raising
crazy.
toddlers. I mean, raising kids in general. I mean, I'm sure it's hard. But there are phases, and it's just like that toddler phase or that baby where they can't do nothing for themselves, and it's rough. It's rough. Like, I have a 5-year-old, he's just now starting to get to the point where he does things for himself, so it frees up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
And so I assume, it's my first kid. As he gets older, you encounter different problems with your children, but you also lose different, like, I don't have to pay as much, like he can entertain himself, so I'm no longer all his entertainment where he needs me for everything.
Yeah.
You know, I could kind of take a step back and take more time for myself now. But you know, you have another kid, you're restarting that whole process, so it's just like
and your other kid is looking at it like the amount of attention you giving to the younger one, they kind of might regress a little bit too, and they want to get some of your attention back again. So now it's a catch-22.
But to answer your question, I mean, you know, we're starting to talk about it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to having more kids. And I just figure people have kids older now, too. People live longer. People, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just something that I think is inevitable. And I love the energy that kids bring to the household.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think I might have mentioned this before, the one thing that people don't talk about when they're talking about kids, because kids, I think when we're having kids, it's more of a selfish act, because we're having kids because we want kids.
100%.
But we're not thinking about all the other things that come along when you choose to have a kid. Like, okay, obviously you have a partner. Now, how is the introduction of that additional body going to factor into your relationship with your partner? Like, you know, I mean, there's a reason the divorce rate in America is so high. You know, people, like I said, they're just, I want another kid. I want another kid. But, yeah, it's a lot more that comes along with it. So, I mean, you also have to analyze that part. Can my relationship take on another... I mean, we'll just call it a distraction, because at the end of the day, kids take time away from what you do with your significant other, in, you know, more than one way. So, you know, that's another balance that you have to kind of figure out when you're choosing to go down that path.
Definitely. No, that's a good point. And something that I'm seeing now, I guess in my own relationship, is the amount of effort that it takes. Like, you really got to put effort into it. And I've seen it, Keith, when Keith was getting married, he was putting me on the game about how much of an effort that relationships could be, and that you got to keep working at it. It's not honeymoon phase. You're not floating through it. It really is a effort. I've seen it with you. You've been with your college sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? Since you've never lived alone, really. You know what I'm saying, right?
No.
Yeah. So, like, no, but I get it. Like, it really is. There's a part of it that's like, we're connected through, like, romance, right? But you also have to work well together.
You have to.
Yeah, and it's like, that's a whole nother aspect.
The romance don't work if you two don't work together.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And I get that 100%. Like, it really is like it's a whole beast that I think people don't pay attention to. And to your point with the kids thing, I compare it to like people saying I'm getting a puppy, but not realizing the walking of the puppy, all
the responsibility.
Yeah, you're gonna be chewing up your shoes.
They
and
just
thinking
of, you know, you holding the cute little puppy.
The social media posts,
right?
Yeah. And then it's like, and then they want to return the shit a week later because they're like, oh, this shit's real life. So it is what it is, man. But we gonna keep things moving. Spec, we gotta start, man, with some NBA news.
Let's get it.
Let's get it, man. And I think you know where we going with this, man. Steph Curry. Steph, you thought I was gonna go with the ball. You thought
I was waiting for it.
You thought I was gonna get messy with it.
Like Steph Curry.
When they go low, like other podcasts go low, we start high. We gonna build them up and then we gonna break them down. Now, Steph Curry is rumored to sign. Being close to signing a deal with Under Armour that is going to make him a billionaire. It's a lifetime deal. It's going to include equity in the company, and it looks awesome in my opinion. You got to think Steph Curry left Nike years ago, and I think he had a $4 million deal when he first started with Under Armour. Currently, he has a $20 million annual contract with them, which is set to expire in 2024 in this next deal. Could obviously make it will be worth $1 billion rumored.
Nice.
From what I hear, and I got don't quote me on this, but I heard something like when he signed Under Armour, they were a $20 billion company, and now they're a $40 billion company. So that has to be, and not all Steph Curry, but he's been with them through that time. He's been a big part of it. I've seen a lot of athletes go through Under Armour, right? Like I've seen Cam Newton, Tom Brady was there. I don't know if he still is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, so it's like, but Steph's been loyal and Steph stuck with him, and Steph's definitely been the face of it, one of the biggest names. So Kudos to him, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like Nike got to catch up, right? Like,
No. I mean, so here's the reality. Like,
well, when I say Nike got to catch up, I love Nike. I mean, Nike got to catch up with making more athletes billionaires. Because Adidas could always say they made Kanye a billionaire, right? They helped him get there.
Under Armour don't have they don't have a choice. So Under Armour, their stock actually for the past few years has been kind of struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And so for them, it only makes sense. Like, obviously, Steph Curry is still with them. He's probably the most not high price, but most famous athlete that they have on their roster.
Mm-hmm.
So it only makes sense. You don't want to lose that, because once you lose him, then it's just, you're really sucking. And so it only makes sense that they partner with him and, you know, make that a lifetime deal, lock him up so he doesn't go anywhere else.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And even if their brand struggles, they still have him. So it makes sense. You know,
fresh off a title too, so we still performing.
That only makes sense. Like, you know, companies like Nike, where I said I don't know that because they did the same thing with Braun. They're only gonna do that with like generational type athletes that they may sign.
Yeah. Which I feel like they to your point, they had to do, because James Harden, that's like a $200 million like sneaker deal.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I believe so. So it's like, yeah, you gotta get Steph Curry shit like this. Like, it's just because of the
It's the market. The market dictates these things. So it only makes sense if they wanted to maintain him and keep him, that's the type of deal that they sign with him.
Yeah, big sense, 100%. Now, shout out to Steph. Definitely everything, you know what I mean, the man does is very inspirational. Very I like Steph. 100%, man. I think he's a cool dude. But definitely, even outside of basketball, it looks like he's into golf, right? He's doing some things in television.
He's a really good golfer.
Yeah, he's no, you definitely you want to see people like that win.
Right. Yeah, Steph was cool. I like Steph. The only period of time I didn't like him is when people were being flagrant and blasphemous and saying he's better than LeBron. That's just that was never the case. But you know, everybody had their moments. He was on fire for, you know, so still don't justify the comments, but you know what I'm saying, I get it.
You know Steph is likable because his parents had like a messy ass divorce and nobody really like makes fun of it or nothing like that. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Will and Jada like look at them, bro. You know what I mean? Steph Curry's a likable guy, so shout out to Steph. But
his family,
yeah,
sure.
But let's get messy with it. You know what I mean? Shout out to how do you pronounce his name?
Udoka.
That's his last.
That's the last name.
Udemy, I think, right? So we know our facts here. Perfect podcast. But the Boston Celtics coach, is he from? Is he from Africa? No, he's from here, right? Yeah, but he has an African name.
Right. Yeah, I don't know where he was born.
Yeah. Apparently he's married to Nia Long, which I did not know before this scandal came out. I'll admit that. Spec said he did know though.
Miss Long. Said she be at the games.
Oh, do she?
Yeah.
Okay. What is Nia Long famous for?
I mean,
Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince is where I first started. I mean, she was in a lot of things prior to that.
What's the poem one that she's with Lorenz Tate? That I'm thinking of. What am I thinking of? Shit.
With Lorenz Tate.
Yeah, Love Jones, isn't that Love Jones?
Oh, she was in Love Jones.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's what I really remember.
I mean, she was huge in the '90s. She was a big '90s, actress.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
But yeah, homie got caught out here slipping. Coach of the Boston Celtics out here. What was first reported as a consensual relationship with a staffer. Then also, I guess later came out. You got to clear this up for me, Spec. Another report came out that they were unwanted comments.
It was not consensual.
And that he, I think I sent you a picture of that article where they made him look extra sleazy with the shirt unbuttoned and everything. But yeah, who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like it's messy out here. But apparently he did something wrong because he was suspended for.
So he was suspended for the whole year, and the team then followed that up and say, yeah, we don't know if we're gonna bring him back. So, I mean, there's a lot that had to happen that we just don't know about for a team to take that stance. And then on top of that, say, oh, we don't even know if we're going to want to bring him back. Like, it only,
it's messy.
It leads to a whole lot of speculation, pun intended.
Yeah, nah. And then, obviously, he's a married man, which is crazy. That's a whole other aspect of that, man. Like, I was saying it before. Marriage, like it's hard, bro. Like, everybody be like, I seen a meme. It was like, who was it? It said Beyonce got cheated on. Oh shit, who was the other chick that they mentioned?
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. Yep, it was Halle Berry. And then they was like, why are we surprised that it would happen again to Nia Long? And it's like, all right, well, there's this misconception that just because you get a bad chick that it's a perfect relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking Nia Long in any type of way, but I'm just saying there's people in life, right, that I think get a girl and they think it's all set now. I got it all. Like, it's perfect, and they don't realize that there's another aspect to it. There's a certain level of maintenance that comes with that. And then nothing lives up to the hype. Nothing lives up to the what is put on a pedestal. You know what I'm saying? So it's a catchy situation for my man.
It's one of those situations, you know. In terms of how bad a chick is, you know, and a man cheating, you know, I have conversations with wifey about this all the time. Like, it has nothing. A man cheating, in a lot of cases, has nothing to do with who his woman is, how bad she is, how ugly she is. A man cheating it's a personal decision most of the time, having nothing to do with the woman that he's with. You know, whether it's, you know, he has a lack of confidence in himself, you know, so he needs to feed his ego. He's unhappy. There's a million and one reasons, but the point that I want to drive home, a lot of times it has nothing to do with his woman at home, why he's actually cheating. You know, they're personal reasons within himself as to why he's cheating. So, you know, I say that to say, you know, women, when they get cheated on, they take it personal on themselves, like, what did I do wrong? And a lot of times it's nothing that the woman did wrong, and it has to do with that man inside.
No, so. I think to myself, and that's why I try to come into these subjects when we cover them on the podcast with, like, I'm not trying to judge him at all. I ain't trying to say homeboy did, like, something wrong or come. I'm not one of those people, because I fucked up and probably will fuck up again in life, in all types of ways. So I look at it like, yo, sometimes I really be looking at chicks and be like, what would I really do if this chick, like, just really went hard to try to mess with me? And it's like, you could say anything in the moment, but it really comes down to it. If it was really in your face, I think a lot of people probably would fall short of what they would probably want to be, you know.
100%.
So,
and I also say this, you know, to her, like, I always say to women, if you're gonna marry or date, you know, an entertainer or anybody who's just constantly in the spotlight, it's not to give them a pass, but you have to have realistic expectations. Mm-hmm. The reality is, if you're dating a man who is an entertainer in the spotlight, that's his life, chances are, you know, at some point, you know, he's gonna slip up. I mean, that, it sucks to say, but it's just the reality of the situation. Yeah.
Nah, I gotta give you props.
You can only say no to the forbidden fruit, but so much when it's constantly in your face.
Well, I was gonna hold off on this comment, but I gotta bring it up now because it's perfect time. It's like, I remember, right, when we were in our 20s, you didn't put yourself into places where temptation could, you know what I'm saying, like, put you in a situation of weakness. And I remember I'd be like, yo, Spec, yo, you want to go to a bar? You want to come out to the club with us? And you came out like a couple times when I was DJing or something like that, but it was really all innocent stuff.
Business.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm not gonna test, like, honestly, like, 'cause I'm just saying that because you're my friend. Like, I was impressed by how business, you know what I'm saying, focused you were. But it was a couple times. I remember even in our 20s just being like, I wonder if this is holding us back as a friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's certain aspects of life that we don't experience together. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go on bar hopping, being a wingman, stuff like that. But no, I've come to now respect it as we've gotten. I respected it at the time, but I come to now have, I guess, a greater respect for it, of just your level of discipline, and know, like, yo, I'm not putting myself in that situation because it might go left. It might be, you know what I mean? Like, it might not be something I want to handle myself in, and why fuck up a good thing, you know what I'm saying, for, like, just for momentary pleasure, which I think a lot of people do, you know what I'm saying, 100%, and it's like,
worth it in the long run.
It really ain't, you know what I'm saying, like, and it brings me to our next story, and we're running short on time, so we're going to move on to our next segment called Have You Heard? I hear headlines and I bring them to the table, man, and just like my man on the Boston Celtics, Udemy
Udoka.
We got to tag team his name. But have you heard about your man Adam Levine? Do you know who Adam?
I know the singer.
Of what group?
Damn.
Just pick one. Just pick one.
Not Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Nah.
Blink 182.
Nah.
Damn.
Maroon 5. You had your numbers. You had your numbers. Maroon 5 frontman Adam Levine caught up because he was in the DMs. Everybody hear that Yo Gotti song and they don't know they go down in the DMs, man. Damn. As a celebrity, you should know a little bit better than that. You know, like Ray Allen getting caught up for some shit like that makes sense. Well, maybe they might be the same age. I don't know how old they are, but old niggas getting caught up for shit like that makes sense. But you should know better, man. Like,
what'd he do?
So basically, he be hitting up these girls in the DMs and be flirting with them. It's rumored that he actually had like a relationship with this one.
Okay.
Because what she says, her friend was gonna run to TMZ because she knew about them. He's a married man. He's married to a model. Mm-hmm. With kids, I believe already. And her friend was gonna run to TMZ, so the girl claims she was coming out with the story to get ahead of it, so she wouldn't be, blackmailed, right. Extorted, probably, or whatever they were trying to get out of it. So she released everything, some DMs and crazy shit with just him making wild comments. But I think he really got in trouble because there's, let me pull it up. I don't want to misquote. But your man caught out here. What do you say to Shorty?
You know, I'll just say it's hard for me. Like when I hear stories of like this, and it to me the first comment that I want to say is common sense. Why would you do that? Mm-hmm. But the reality is, in the moment, like men just don't be thinking.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. I
brought up. It's hard. It's
I brought up Ray Allen because I seen some wild shit Ray Allen was saying in the DMs one time, but you really don't. You don't realize like. Yeah, when somebody pretty's coming at you, you really don't know.
Like your brain gets short circuited, and it's bad.
Yeah, but he's 43 years old, so I would say he should know better. You should understand social media better at 43. He's married to Behati Prince Lou. She's a model, if I understand correctly. He has 2 daughters with her. So basically, what did he text Shorty? Okay, this is the wild one that he got in trouble for. Like, I mean, he texts a lot of wild ones, but he said after. Shorty said after I stopped seeing her for a period, he said he hit her with this one. Hold on. No, fuck. I don't know. Look at 43. I don't know how to fucking use social media. Basically said that he asked if she'd be cool if he names her son after her. His unborn son, basically, like his wife is pregnant.
That's flagrant.
And, yeah, he's a wild boy. He'd be like, "Well, would it be cool with you if I named her Sumner?" There we go. I found it. He said, "Okay, serious. I'm having another baby and it's a boy. I really want to name it Sumner. You okay with that? Dead serious." But I think that's how he flirts. You know how some niggas just bad with flirting?
I hope your wife don't see that shit.
Oh, yeah, she definitely seen it now. But I guess we don't also know what his deal is with his wife. You know what I'm saying? But I'm assuming it wasn't coming out like this. It wasn't meant to.
Right. I mean, if you and your partner have an open relationship like that, then no harm. You know.
He's a rock star. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm not justifying it.
But that goes to my point. I mean, if you're gonna be with somebody like that, okay. I mean, that may be a smart type of relationship to have with them, just to but your expectations have to be reasonable when you're dating people like this.
And but he's flopped by one sending these wild DMs because then other women started coming out, dropping DMs that he sent them also. Now, I don't know if maybe some people, right, they really get off on just flirting online, too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I think that's like a thrill for like some people. Like, remember chat rooms back in the day? Yeah. And all that. People just only needed to talk to someone.
Right.
OnlyFans, I think a big part of OnlyFans is that you get to actually, I don't think you're really messaging the girl, my belief, but the image, the perception is she's texting you back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And she could do
But just know, shit. Some women consider that cheating still. So just because you ain't stick your thing in up in nothing, that don't mean that it can't be considered cheating. So you need to have a conversation with your partner. Well, you need to know where those lines are.
100%. Some girls gonna get mad for you haven't watching porn. You know what I'm saying? So, but then some people, I guess some dudes, they look like, well, I could have been doing this, I could have been doing that. So you gotta figure out what, I guess, in terms
That's
of your
where,
relationship.
so that's the thing. That's where the mature conversations come in. In your relationship, a mature relationship, there's nothing wrong with having that conversation. Like, I want to know where the boundaries are, what line, like, if I did X, Y, and Z, how you gonna feel about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, I can go to a strip club, grab an ass, put titties in my face, and I can go back home and tell my woman that, and it's not gonna be an issue. You know what I'm saying?
It's also because it's the environment. You know
but if I was, got on social media and started, DMing bitches, oh my, da, 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 then that might be a problem. So, it's all about having those conversations and knowing where those lines are.
Spec, have you heard? This is something we covered last week on Perfect Talk when I spoke to Keith. But I want to know your opinion on it, and there's also been some kind of update. Migrants were flown from Florida to Martha's Vineyard, and this is a trend that's been happening. Also, bus in front of Kamala Harris's house multiple times. The one, I think DeSantis was responsible for the plane that flew to Martha's Vineyard. No heads up that these people were coming, and actually, I think they're starting a criminal investigation to see if they were put on that under
state funds.
Oh, was it because he used state funds? I thought it was that they did it under false pretenses.
No, that and they use state funds inappropriately to do it.
To fund the, okay. But I guess I really want to know, one, have you heard? It sounds like you have, and two, just what's your opinion on it? Because I think it's gangster. I was telling Keith, I don't bang Republican or Democrat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving no my loyalty to anybody. You got to earn it. But I think that's pretty gangster on border states that felt like we weren't looking out for them, and they kind of were being overrun. Like, it's easy to say it from New York, right? It's easy to say it from Washington, D.C., because you're not next to, well, I guess in New York you're next to Canada, but people aren't rushing in by the boatloads to get in from Canada. So it's like, it is easy to say it when you don't have to deal with it, but he kind of put it front that him and other lawmakers have put it in they call them sanctuary states, right in their faces, you know what I mean? So, and what is a sanctuary state? They're saying, like, we're cool.
A sanctuary, if you're here, I mean, legally or illegally, we're not gonna deport you. We're gonna help you out. All of those things.
We're not investigating.
It's not a criminal act that you made it.
Yeah,
here.
so you can't make that statement, and then you know what I'm saying. So you kind of like put your money where your mouth is. But I'll give you the floor and let you, say
yeah, I mean, it's a crazy situation, and there's multiple ways to look at it. Like, Florida is not the same as Texas doing it, New Mexico doing it, because those, like Texas, New Mexico, California's not doing it, but these are actual border states, right? People aren't coming into Florida by the masses, into Florida. So DeSantis in particular, he was just being an asshole. He's a Republican, and he's just being an ass about it and wanted to do that. Now, what I will say, I'm not a Republican, but from a Republican standpoint, by me busing migrants or flying migrants, whatever the case may be, it is creating a story, right? It's bringing this issue, because it is an issue, back to the forefront. With anything in this country, there's lulls. We talk about something, and then time goes by and we forget about it
real quick. Yeah.
And the same thing kind of happened with this migrant situation. We stopped talking about it for a little while, but now it's front and center again, because we have this this thing where Republican states are busing and flying the migrants to sanctuary cities. So yes, I particularly DeSantis, he's an asshole for doing it, because there's no real reason for him to do it other than he just wants to make a statement. Now, other governors of, like, Texas, so they're faced with a different situation. I think I'm not as mad at it with them, because they have an actual crisis at their border, and they can't take in everybody. Those are just facts. They can't take in everybody. So it makes more sense for them to send migrants to different sanctuary states. But then the issue also then becomes, if I'm a Republican governor doing this, I want to bus migrants to New York, then the right thing to do would be, all right, let me get on the phone with these people from New York. We'll try and figure out a plan, because obviously I can't keep them. I'm not going to keep them. I'm going to send them to you, but we can do this in a civilized. These are actual people, human beings.
And let's treat them like such.
Right? Let's treat them like such. Let's make sure when they get there, they're going to have, like, there needs to be communication. Like right now, it's just a political stunt. That's what it comes off as. They're just coming in and you're just busting them no notice. These people, when you interview them, they were told, when you get there, you're gonna have X job, all of these things. They don't even know what's going on. They're just so happy to be in America. They're just, I'll get on another bus and go wherever you send me, right? So again, there's a human element. We are dealing with human beings here. You can't treat them like a piece of paper on a number. They should be treated like human beings. These are parents. These are kids. So I think from that aspect, it is wrong. But there's a bigger issue at play. Okay, when they get here, now, like New York City, they're overrun like that. So where are these people going? Like they're gonna the school system was already crowded before the situation. Now we're accepting in these thousands of kids that are gonna come into the public school system, overcrowded schools. Even it's a crisis.
No, it really is. Yeah.
So there's something that needs to be done about it on the federal level. I don't know what ultimate what the right thing to do is, but I do know these are humans, and just using them as political ploys, in my opinion, that is wrong.
Yeah, and to your point, midterm elections are a couple weeks away, right?
Yep, and that's why all of this has happened. Like our politics has gotten to a point where it's just a game. Like once upon a time, whether you're Republican or Democrat, the people in office actually cared about the people.
Yeah.
Whereas now it just seems like everybody is just, okay, we're Republican, we believe this, you're Democrat, you believe that, we're against each other, we're not interested in working, and it's just a shit show.
Yeah. Now, you know what I was thinking too, like, and this is off subject, but like with the no cash bails, it was like, they kind of snuck that in while we was like worried about other shit, and the abortion thing too.
Yeah.
They kind of like snuck like with the no cash bails, like niggas is wilding in the city, bro. Like there's like every day on the paper it'd be like, this dude got let out, and then he did like 5 other things. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude just got arrested for something, and he was out on, you know what I mean? And it's like, I get it for people who don't know, if I understand correctly, no cash bail is like, it's to a judge's discretion if you're gonna
it's just to allow the people who shouldn't be in jail to be able to get out, and it not be in a situation where just because I can't afford it, that's the only reason why I'm in jail.
It seems like an overcorrection, like because it does seem like the bail system disproportionately is an advantage for people with money. You could pay your way out. So I feel like to correct it, they're like, well, we're kind of going to make that level playing field. And it's like, no. That's not how this works. Like, this nigga's crazy. Why are you letting him back out on the street? Like, right. And it's just like, what we was watching Trump and fucking Biden, like, you know what I'm saying, debate over dumb shit while they was taking away our rights and everything, like, you know what I'm saying.
I mean, it's gonna be a topic of discussion.
Yeah. Oh, that abortion shit already is, you know what I'm saying, it's going crazy. I just was it Arizona or some one of them states just took away like a 50-year ban. They like it's just banned. Like, you can't get abortions.
Right.
Your uncle fucking touches you, you have to have that baby. Like, it's crazy. Like, that's nutty.
Yep. Like, or if you there's some, I don't know what state it is, but there's some, states that have, even if for the health and safety of a woman, nope. No abortion.
That was the other thing. Like, if it's the woman is going to die, right? Yeah. She should be able to have an abortion.
Nope.
Yo, who gives a fuck about abortions this much? Like, it's like it got to be like 10% of the country, bro. Like,
no, it's real, because if you got a chance to poll every single individual in the country, there's not the vast majority will not support full bans of abortion. They will say there are instances where a woman should be able to get an abortion. Period.
Even the most extreme anti-abortion people, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just goes back to, okay, so these laws are being written, and people have to vote for these laws. Mm-hmm. So that just means, the people who have the opinions who don't support the full-on bans, those are the people who just are not voting.
Yeah.
And so it just creates another problem. I mean, you don't want to vote. It's hard to you shouldn't get mad when shit doesn't go your way.
Mm-hmm. But they've already set this. They've already set the perception that voting doesn't matter anyway. So now the people that actually could make change aren't
it's a big problem.
Believing in the system. Yeah. Speaking of such, man, have you heard your man Joe Biden did a 60-minute interview? I don't know if you had a chance to catch it. Only reason I seen it was because it came on right after football. So, like 60 minutes rolls right on. Like, so I did get a chance to catch it. And my man was not throwing Joe Biden softballs. It was one of the hardest hitting interview, but it was fair, in my opinion. But at some point, you asked him if he planned on running again. To which, let me make sure I quote Joe Biden correctly. Sir, are you committed to running again, or are there certain conditions that have to be right? To which Joe Biden said, look, if I were to say to you, I'm running again, all of a sudden a whole range of things have to come into play. I have requirements I have to change and move and do in terms of election laws, and it's much too early to make that kind of decision. I'm a great respecter of fate, and so what I'm doing is I'm doing my job. I'm going to do that job, and within the time frame that makes sense after this next election cycle here, going into next year, make a judgment on what to do. So you say that's much too early to make that decision, was the next question he was asked. I take it that decision has not been made in your head. To which he said, look, my intention, as I said, to begin with, is that I would run again. But it is just an intention. But is it a firm decision that I run again? That remains to be seen. So it sounds to me like he's not 100% sure. Biden's old as fuck, dog.
He is.
You ever see an old man walk down the street and it make you scared to get old? That's Joe Biden to me, bro.
When you see him walking, like with his wife, it looks like his wife is walking him. Like he needs some help walking.
Which we're not making for the old people, but it's just to be the leader of the free world. Right. It's kind of like, but then you got like, I mean, DeSantis 2024. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
but to be honest with you, I mean, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, if DeSantis did run and it was DeSantis against Biden, I don't know that Biden will win. I mean,
I don't think he would.
Personally, I hope Biden doesn't run again. You know, I hope he doesn't.
Just have a fresh right. Ideas in there, fresh face.
I hope, you know, in 2024 it's not Trump against Biden. I really don't. I really don't. I pray it's not. Those cannot be the next two choices, Trump or Biden. Neither one of them.
Democrats need a superstar. They need somebody that
yeah, but we don't have. I mean, I'm not gonna say we don't have one. Only time will tell. Because even when Obama became our nominee, prior to him becoming our nominee, he was kind of a nobody.
I know.
So
yeah.
I'm not gonna say we don't have any superstars, but you know, we need somebody new. That's
they gotta start making superstars. Like you gotta start. It's hard because people aren't as passionate about the Democratic issues. Well, I guess they are. But the Republicans are just like slam dunking on niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like with the abortion thing, it's like, yo.
But you see that, I think, in my opinion, that's more of a perception because when it comes to the abortion thing, again, I do think the vast majority of the country supports like common sense. I think the Republican Party. Again, the Republican Party of today is not the Republican Party of 10, 15 years ago. They are becoming more and more extreme. It's my belief that, let's just say in another 20 years, the Republican Party is going to be this extreme wing of a political party, and there's going to be a new type of Republican Party where it's not called Republicans anymore. The Republicans, they're going to be on the extreme end, and then there's just going to be a new, we'll call it Republican 2.0. They're more moderate. They're more sensible. More people can relate to them than can this radicalized.
To saying there might be a split in that party.
Yeah. So what I think is going to happen is, because what's happened is, for so many years and decades, like let's just say white supremacists, they were shunned by Republicans. They were shunned by Democrats. So they were shunned by everybody, right? So what I think is going to happen now in the future is they're going to be able to come out again. Like Trump gave them life, and now they're bolstered. They have fire underneath their wing, and so they're gonna mobilize. They're gonna have their party. You know, you're gonna see them. They're not gonna be.
And on top of that, they have a model of success. Seeing Trump do it,
they have a model of success.
They have to follow that.
So we're gonna see them. But it's my belief the vast majority of the country does not support that. So while they're going to have passion, they're going to have voters, they're going to have all of that, I think there's going to be like a new Republican wing that ends up forming that is not that. That's going to be what it is. Then there's going to be a new party. Then you're still going to have the Democrats. It'll be interesting to see where this country goes years from now.
No.
Because we will have another civil war. I just don't think. No. I just don't think it's going to be.
This ain't that type of podcast. Like, whoa. my nigga just took it there. Hold on. This ain't that type of podcast. YouTube, no, we don't want that out of there, dog.
I just don't think it's going to be in the traditional form like we seen 100 years ago.
No muskets?
No muskets and stuff like that. You know, but, you know, yeah. Because everybody's gonna have a voice. Everybody has a voice. White supremacy is not going nowhere, and so everybody's gonna have a voice, and we're gonna have to hear it and deal with it.
Conspiracy spec over here, man. Let's lighten things up, man. Speaking of fighting, right? Speaking of beefing in the same game, man. Have you heard August Alsina and Tory Lanez? It went down.
Obviously, I didn't see an actual footage of a fight, but I seen when Tory went to give him a pound, he walked right by him.
How did he do it? He looked at it?
he looked at him and just kept walking. And Tory really like, what the? He was shocked. And it took a minute to register. He started to walk away. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like he did an about face. and that was the last of it. I didn't see a clip of an actual.
You didn't have audio?
I didn't hear. Was there audio of the altercation?
From what I heard, they said it's rumored to be, but yeah, it was like
okay. I didn't hear I just seen after with him coming back, smiling, and it was you whooped his ass or some shit like that.
Yeah. Basically, from the story I get it, so the audio I heard was Tory Lanez like, "What's up?" And he was like, August was like, "I hate when niggas don't keep it real in real life like they do on the internet."
Oh, he said that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear audio. I just see it.
And he's like, "What you talking about? I don't keep it real." He's like, "Why did you feel the need to talk about me and my relationship?" And I guess he was talking about Jada.
Oh, okay.
And I guess Tory Lanez might have had a joke or something to say at the moment in time or whatever about it. But my thing is, so I guess I get where August is coming from. Don't say what up to me when you got jokes behind my back. And then Tory probably didn't even know they had beef. Because Tory's like, it was just jokes. It wasn't nothing like that. Nigga, you told us about this relationship.
Right.
So I can see where they both come from. I think it's corny when you really don't like somebody and then you try to give him a pound. I think that's super corny. But I'm not, Tory Lanez, I like his music, but beyond that, there's no allegiance to me to Tory Lanez. But I truly think Tory Lanez didn't think he had beef.
Right. It didn't seem like, because I don't think you would reach out to give a pound.
But one thing with August, so right, I put on August, you knew you was on the show with him. Why don't you just avoid the show? Because you knew you was going to run into him. You know what I'm saying? But maybe he needs a check. Maybe he, you know what I'm saying? I can't tell him to turn down the check.
Maybe he knew, and I don't like this dude because of what he said, regardless if you met it or not. And when I see him, I'm going to tell him that, and it's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah, and then it went left. It did go left.
But now that you're telling me that, I can see where, because in my head I'm like, Tory, you just could have let that go. But if he said all of those words, then I can kind of see, all right, well, there was people around, and I did hear, so you gonna let him say that to you? So you already know ego.
Yeah.
Right? So
it definitely. So I guess Tory Lanez kind of was rumored to have leaked the information, like, yo, this nigga trying to play me. And then we ended up having to snuff him or whatever. And then that's, I guess, when August started releasing like pictures of like his lip being busted, and he said he got jumped.
He did it.
Wow. So it's wild, but I guess Tory got taken off the tour or whatever. He wasn't on it anymore, and it's R&B niggas is wilding out. I think at the 50 Cent, he has like a comedy festival out in Houston a couple weeks ago. Trey Songz was out there bugging. I forgot what's the boxer that. Terrence, it might have been Terrence Crawford. He's beefing with him out there.
I didn't know about that.
50 said he ain't coming out to no more. He ain't rocking out to at none more the comedy festivals that 50 be doing no more because he's like, this nigga's wilding. The R&B niggas be wilding, bro. What do you think that is? You think it's because they think people perceive them as being soft?
In fact, I'm sure that has something to do with
it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the reality is, going back to the beginning of time, R&B, they come from the same environment that we do. The only difference is they sing.
They sing, yeah.
But they ain't no different.
New Edition was from the hood in Boston.
New Edition was from the hood. So yeah, I don't know.
No, it is what it is, man. Shout out to shout out to all the R&B singers out there, man. Stop the beef. Before we move on to our next segment, have you heard the Little Mermaid is now black?
I did see that.
She's
with dreads.
She has dreads?
Yeah.
Oh shit! It's like like Lil Wayne. She's the Little Mermaid now. She's.
Little Mermaid.
I know she had dreads, but there's been backlash basically since the trailer was released. Some people are really offended in this country that Ariel's black now, and I guess have you heard? And I guess how do you feel about that? I'll just say as a father of a young black daughter. Actually, when my daughter, I'm about to go see her right after we're done with this, and I want to show her the trailer of Ariel and just see how she responds to it, because I think she's seen the original Little Mermaid, so just to see how she reacts to her being black. Because there are viral videos out there of people showing their kids, and the kids really like, yo, she's black, like they hype. But obviously in this country, like you just mentioned, there's a population of people out there who are offended when black people are put front and center, who feel like they're being canceled or removed, or they're scared of their own image not being seen enough. So that's kind of the backlash that Halle Bailey, the young lady who's playing Ariel now, has had to face this week. So have you heard, and how do you feel about that, bro?
I have heard about it, and so it's tough only because, and I'll get into it in a second, but just to simply answer your question, I like the fact that, you know, it brings diversity. You know, now, you know, there could be black mermaids. You know what I'm saying? if all we seen was white mermaids, that means that there's no such thing as a black mermaid. And so now, I mean, now there is a such thing, and you know, little girls, black or white, can see, you know, mermaids may come in all colors as well, not just white, you know. But then, you know, because I was thinking about this myself, like, for instance, in other examples, when they came out with I think, was it the gay Captain America? Was it Captain America who was... They came out with one of these superheroes earlier.
No, you're right. Some one of them are gay now. Superman's son.
I don't know, something like that. And when I heard that, I'm like, oh man. And I have nothing against gay people.
So why'd you react? I'm not attacking.
No,
why'd you react like that?
I that's the thing, right? It's kind of like, I mean, why does Superman or Spider-Man's son, does he have to be? There's nothing technically wrong with it. I just guess in my mind, that's not what I wanted to see. And I guess maybe that's the same, you know, the way people may feel with the mermaid. So that's why I said it's tough, because in this instance with the mermaid, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. Nor do I think with the gay superhero there's technically anything wrong with it. But that also doesn't mean that that's what I wanted to see. Right, so I guess, do you think that people are justified in feeling like a little jarred if they expected a white? So here's the thing. I'll use my personal circumstance. Right, if I had to vote,
though, now seeing they do kind of look like judges.
If I had to vote, is this okay for Superman to be gay? I would say yes. I have no problem with it. Now,
when you bought a Superman comic book, was that what you were looking for?
Right. I'm personally, okay, well, no, I don't. But is there anything wrong with it? No. To each his own. I just personally don't want, but there's nothing wrong with it. I can say that.
So how do you feel about, let's say, and I guess we spoke about this with book bans, but let's stay along the same topics of the superhero movie. You have a young son. He gets into comic books. Are you like, I don't really want, I didn't buy a comic book to have a gay discussion with him. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think the Little Mermaid falls into this, because you don't have to have a race discussion with your kids. I think anyone that's jarred by it is someone that's seen it maybe as a kid and has an emotional value to it. Now they're an adult. That, you know what I'm saying, that maybe it's a little bit different to them. I don't think kids are just seeing it for the first time and just automatically like, I don't want to watch it because it's a black. So would you think that a parent would be justified in a comic book situation where I bought my kid a Superman comic book, you're introducing an element of homosexuality into it. I didn't really want to have that discussion with my kid at this age, at this point in time. Because, I mean, it's easy to be like, yo, the parents who are against book bans are wrong, right? They're being bigoted, but you just brought up a really good example. I didn't even think about it in the comic books in a sense where it might be like, I didn't come here for this.
Yeah, but the reality is, in the era that we live in, there's so much information out there that's accessible to kids at such an earlier age than when we were growing up. And so now as parents, we have to have certain conversations with our kids far earlier than we did back when we were growing up. Just because they're exposed to a lot more with the internet, they're exposed to so much more now. Okay. Even kid shows aren't kid shows. Like a G-rated show today is not the same as a G-rated show 20 years ago, right? So,
to your point, like the Buzz Lightyear movie has like a male kissing another male.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I
But
didn't even know that.
I mean, Bugs Bunny had like male kissing.
But you see, I don't even think it was viewed in that manner.
Because
Like,
he's a bunny.
I think it was. Oh, he's just because it's a joke. Like, because
I didn't see it like yeah.
Okay.
And I know in China or in certain places where they put it worldwide, they had to take that scene out.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would assume it was comedically.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know in Bugs Bunny, it was comedic. It's not like, oh, I love. Because was it Elmer? No, it wasn't Elmer Fudd. But nonetheless, I know in the cartoons, like when it was on a comedic shit, like, oh, I'm just gonna, and he, and you know, just something like that.
Oh, he dressed like a woman, like,
right.
Like a woman, you know what I'm saying?
Jokingly.
Yeah. But to the Halle Bailey as the Little Mermaid, I think that's just ignorance. Like, you're silly if you think that. Like, remember when Brandy was Cinderella, right? In Whitney Houston, I believe, years ago.
Okay.
They did
People
that, like,
probably had a problem with that too, but social media wasn't as big.
Yeah. And I don't think it did get backlash because they were like they were at the top of the game. They were like the biggest stars, Brandy and Whitney Houston at the time. But to your point, I think there was a population out there that probably wasn't as loud and not as vocal. They didn't have the amplitude that they have now to make that type of noise. But shout out to Halle Bailey. She seems to be holding it down really good, you know what I'm saying, and handling it well. And I think she's going to do great. She's a great singing voice, beautiful girl. So shout out to her, man. Spec, before we get up out of here, man, it's time for one of my... Oh, nope. You know what? I correct that. I'm a firm believer when you make noise about something, you got to make the same amount of noise when people are proven guilty or innocent. When people are proven that they didn't do it and you're coming at the noise when you thought they did do it, you got to do that. And I got to right now at least announce that Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears, they had their lawsuit dismissed at the accuser's Jane Doe's request on that sexual, basically, what was it, child abuse type of case that they had, basically where they had a young lady and her brother, I believe, appearing skits that were, you heard about this, right?
I heard very vaguely. I'm not.
So basically, like, Aries Spears had a skit, and Tiffany Haddish was his co-star in the skit. Was be like a mom dropping her son off at like the uncle, and it's a bad skit. It's not funny at all. But the kid is like getting seduced by. Sorry, the uncle's is a pedophile, and he's getting seduced by the kid. And I guess the kicker at the end is that the kid starts like feeding into it, kind of. It's not done well, and I don't even know how you make that funny.
What was the purpose of that skit?
It was comedy. It was uploaded to Funny or Die, and it was funny in Aries Spears' eyes, I guess. But very bad. Like, the kid is literally like in a bathtub in some of it, like being touched by Aries. It's very
being touched by Aries Spears.
Yeah, kids in his underwear. Like, Aries Spears is playing the uncle. It's not great. But someone probably signed off. Someone's mom. Where was the mom at? That was my first question. Like, why come the mom wasn't there? Why you let your kid go somewhere? The thing was that Tiffany Haddish brought the kid there under false pretenses. The other one was like they made this girl watch a video where people were eating Subway sandwiches, but very sexually, kind of like, I guess, to simulate sucking dick. And then she was like a young girl at the time, and they were like, we're gonna try to recreate that or some crazy shit like that. But whatever the case may be, whatever they were accused of,
but they got the lawsuit dismissed. So I mean, what does that mean? I mean, it's
not going to go any further, whether they were paid off or whatever the case may be. It was done outside of court, and it was at the Jane Doe's request. So basically, she said it's dismissed without prejudice. So whatever, something changed, you know what I mean? And I think in her statement, she said Tiffany Haddish has always been a family friend and would never do this type of thing to us. So what made them about face, I don't know, but the damage is already done, because Tiffany's like, I've lost all my, I lost everything. All my gigs gone, everything gone. She said when the paparazzi asked about her reputation, if she could regain her reputation now, that the lawsuit has been dropped, she responded, I don't know, bro. She added, I don't have no job, bro. So, you know what I mean? I can imagine, like, people might not want to fuck with it. And that's the thing, the damage is already done. And not for nothing, shout out to the lawsuit being dropped. That don't mean you was right in all this. Like, I see the video. You brought the kid there. Like, this video was terrible. You shouldn't put a kid in this situation. If there's a way that you want to make the joke of pedophilia funny, find another way to do it, because this was terribly done. Now, was Tiffany a young star? So she looks a little younger in the video. She probably was trying to get on. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She knew she wanted to look. She wanted to check or whatever was going to come out of it, working with Aries Spears. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I gotta announce that the case has been dismissed.
So how old was this video that they did?
I think it came out like 2016 or something like that.
Okay, so this is
2014. It's 2014 video titled "Through a Pedophile's Eyes," in which Haddish plays.
So this is 8 years ago.
Yeah. So now that the kids are like of age, I guess the girl that is, they brought up this lawsuit, but then whatever was done behind, I don't know what was done behind the scenes. If maybe, you know what I'm saying, like they just came to the realization.
I thought so. I thought that this was something new.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just falls into one of those things.
You thought it was a video made in 2022?
Yeah, I thought this was very recent.
No, and people think it came out because of Aries Spears' comments about Lizzo.
Okay.
You know about that? Where
Yeah.
He said she looks like the shit emoji, and he's trying to be funny and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. But again, I'm not big on going back that many years and then trying to, you know, prosecute somebody today. I'm just not.
Not, especially over something that she didn't touch the kid.
Right.
She didn't literally, like, she didn't Harvey Weinstein the kid.
And again, culture changes. I mean, 8
this
years ago.
And this shit was on the site. They posted it and everything. The shit was up. So it's
I don't like shit like that. I really don't.
What I will say is if the kid grew up and if the kid really don't got a problem with it, then whatever the case may be, if it was all made up, then whatever. But if the kid does have a problem with it, and Tiffany Haddish had some type of involvement, which she has apologized when the first came up, she was like, I did, you know what I mean, bring them to the set, but nothing, it wasn't no funny business going on. If the kid really does have a problem with it, then yeah, you were involved in something that might have messed up a kid. Was it illegal? No. Should you lose money over it? Probably not, but you know how your reputation is. You take 20 years to build a reputation, 5 minutes to knock it down. You know what I'm saying? So that's just I think Tiffany Haddish will bounce back though. I think she'll be all right. It's just going to take a little bit of space, and it's got to be the right project.
Hopefully, this just don't be her demise, because that would really suck.
That would suck, man. But yeah, Spec, we got tight on time, so we're gonna get to our next segment. And once again, like I said, I shout out to Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish in that respect. That I guess like the lawsuit was dropped, like because you innocent till proven guilty,
right?
And then we don't really know how people feel.
They probably paid them.
Yeah,
I mean that's what it.
That's what it looks like. If I had to take a guess, but it's just like it's still. Well, I got as a
that's
journalist. That's
probably all they wanted to begin with was just some fucking money. Coming up this many years later, come on.
And at the exact time when it's trending, that Aries Spears is, I get that. So I gotta at least say the lawsuit's been dropped. So
it's a money play.
Do what they do with that. Both of them have said they think their career is done. No, they think it's a wrap.
I mean, Aries was already.
He's like, nigga, I could have told you that. This shit might help you out, actually. But yo, we gotta get to one of my favorite segments, man. I like to rock out when I'm here with you, man. Things I've seen on the internet, man. So first thing up. No, that's not what I wanted. First thing up. Your man Offset. We went to Mickey D's in Indonesia and they got a double Mac. That double Big Mac in the background. Would you? I don't even eat a regular Big Mac, but were you fucking with that, bro?
Double. I mean, I obviously have to be really hungry. That's a whole lot of beef.
You see it, right? The double stack,
Mac.
Double Big Mac.
Hey. And this is in Indonesia. They eat beef like that.
Okay. I don't know. Where is it? Yeah, Indonesia's in Asia. I would imagine so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
Double Mac.
But yeah, man. Yeah, for all y'all out there who can't see your boy Offset out there in audio land. Basically, it's a Big Mac, like which is usually the bun patty, middle bun, right, and then special sauce or something, and then another bun patty, cheese and all that, and then patty, whatever.
This one has 4 patties.
4 patties. 4 patties. Heart attack sandwich, man. I did see some crazy shit. I think I sent it to y'all. It was like the KFC cake, where it was like, it was mashed potatoes and it was chicken. Yeah. They got some wild shit overseas, bro.
But that one isn't as bad. I mean, that
right now it's unhealthy. Like,
I mean,
well, it's a cake, so you assume you're not eating it alone too. So yeah, because it's so big. But things I've seen on the internet, Spec. Man, Drizzy Drake.
Grown up with this check on me. I don't know if you can see it. It lights up. This jacket belonged to. But yeah, no, it's really truly an honor. And when you put things into perspective, Adidas has Kanye, I think. Nike, we have LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Giannis, Michael Jordan. The greatest creative mind of all time, Virgil Abloh, rest in peace. We have Cristiano Ronaldo. We have Serena Williams. We have Tiger. And I'm pretty sure Reebok has Tyga, so we're good. Everybody, let's keep it rolling for another 50 years. My name is Drake. Thank you for having me.
Pretty good in that. It's a pretty good.
Drake is really good at like stand up. I don't know. He's like a good entertainer.
He's an entertainer. Yeah. Period.
He's like he's like Jamie Foxx in a sense.
Yeah.
He's like Jamie Foxx in a sense where like he can do it all. I don't even know if Drake can act though. That's the one thing I think, and I think he might be.
So you don't think he can act?
Yeah.
Oh, he can act.
Was he acting in?
He did that. He was a kid. He was
a kid actor, but I never seen it.
Well, no, I mean, but he's done skits and stuff like that since then. Can he, do his Young and the Restless type? I'm sure he can. Like, he just seems talented like that. Like you said, like Jamie Foxx, he's multifaceted. I believe Drake is very similar.
Well, what I think is like, I think he has the talent. I think he does because of how great he is in skits and how he has that like entertainment, stand-up comedian kind of vibe when he could be on a microphone. But can I remove? I'm looking at Drake.
Well, that's a you thing more than it is like he can only.
But I thought the same thing about Justin Timberlake, right? When he first came, I was like, he's a big star. Can I know that? And Justin Timberlake has proved that he can, right?
Yeah, but that's only happened because you've seen him in so many
different
roles,
and
it forces you now to not look at him as Justin Timberlake from the Backstreet Boys.
But the first role I seen him in, I think it was Alpha Dog might have been the first role I seen him in. And he was great in Social Network. Like everything I seen Justin Timberlake in, and I just think I worry that, man, and I wouldn't bet against it. I think we would get over it if Drake decided he wanted to go the movie route. But at first, it might be like, I'm looking at Drake playing such and such, as opposed. But I think every big star they probably said, Ice Cube probably had the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it works. Yeah. I mean, you have to do it often enough to erase that. Okay, this is Drake. Yeah. Or this is Ice Cube. Or this is
because now Ice Cube could play a teacher. Right. Where before he had to play the doughboy. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like, because it fit with what we knew him as.
And a lot of actors and that they struggle with that per se. If we know them for a particular thing, for us they struggle with getting the viewers to see them in a different light.
Braxton said he can't. No one ever sees him and not as Braxton. So that's crazy. No, it is something to see. But how do you feel about Drake kind of roasting roasting Adidas? And definitely bigging up Nike. I mean, he did drop. We were talking about Nike earlier.
He was dropping facts. I mean, it's facts. I mean, and who does Adidas really have? I mean, they don't have too many people. And I don't even. I think them and Kanye are breaking up.
They're beefing. Yeah. I don't know if they're breaking up. He might be under contract, but they're definitely beefing in a place right now. What do you think? I think because what Kanye was saying was that they took his designs and used it on other stuff, but. I mean, you signed a contract. I mean, you kind of...
Yeah, it's dirty, though, because they don't want to... I don't know if it's they don't want to pay him type of deal, but basically, they're just saying, all right, well, you don't want to follow what we're doing. We still have your design. We're going to put it out.
Yeah.
And that's that. And I think that's effed up, because if that's my design... Yes, we are under contract, but that's still, again, you may not even be doing anything wrong legally, but just that's effed up, in my opinion. And Kanye has a lot of people that support him, regardless of how they may feel about him personally. Just the general concept of that, this big company just taking your design knowingly, and you're saying that that's wrong, and them saying that we don't care, we're still going to use it. Like, that's messed up.
Yeah, we don't get... Yo, and you know what's funny? I was trying to find that video again. And I'm on Reddit, and I'm just typing in McDonald's fight, and I see some of the... I don't know what it is about McDonald's, but people... That double Big Mac, man. People wilding the fuck out.
McDonald's, they have an issue with that.
The violence happening inside their restaurants. Because I've seen some classic fights, real life, and I've drove past... Remember the McDonald's used to live by?
Yeah.
Yeah, I drove past that at night, some nights, and seen some crazy... Actually, they used to close at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Every day because they said the kids would have got out.
Yeah, high school. It was right next to the high school. Yeah. They would close it down. There was just so many fights.
Some in the air at McDonald's make motherfuckers act a damn fucking fool, bro.
I think it is what it is.
Yeah,
Shout outs to McDonald's.
Word up, James. Yo, another episode in the books, man. Always a pleasure having you here with me, bro. Spec, man. I ask it every week, but I already know the answer, man. Where can my people find you out on social media?
You can find me whenever I appear on DJ Playboy podcast, Perfect Talk.
You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely you can see my clips on my social media. I'll be posting some of the clips we do from the episodes on my social media. What is it? Instagram at Pliccapeezy, PLICCAPEEZY. Also check out Perfect Talk podcast on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. I like to go live on the Pliccapeezy sometimes with my homegirl Ayo Niche, so check that out. Let me see what else. Oh, also check me out on Twitter at DJ Playboy. I'll be saying interesting things every once in a while on there. So tune in and keep up with your boy. What else we got going on? We got the website www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. Every episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast is available right there. Also my radio show that I do called The Night Shift. The radio show I do with my brother DJ show called Money Talks Radio, and yeah, everything else I got going on. So check that out. Every episode of Perfect Talk Podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud. I might have said Apple Podcasts already, but I'm going to say it again. Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that. Wherever your local podcasts are found, man, make sure you leave a comment. Anyway, we just had to relaunch back again on Apple Podcasts, so if you're checking us out on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else, leave a rating, leave a review, because we would love that. And make sure, you get down. Check us out on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like.
Smash that like button.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, shout out to my man Spec. I think this year we started doing video for the first time, and ever since then, it's been going crazy. Me and Keith just started doing video too. So every episode of Perfect Talk Podcast, I'm going to try to bring to y'all on YouTube out here, because y'all been showing us love. Shit, what else going on, man? Spec, what are you checking out nowadays? It could be a book, it could be music you're checking out, it could be something you're watching on television, but what are you checking out nowadays, brother?
Man, now outside of my work hours, I'm just reading a lot on learning about real estate.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. That's awesome.
That's the next place, so I'm just learning right
now. So
like
self-learning, man. That's dope. Keith put me up on this website years ago called Udemy. It's like an app also. And they sell courses, like people make little e-courses and stuff like that. So right now I'm actually in the middle of doing one, just trying to learn a little bit more about social media and how the algorithms and different things work on the different platforms. But there's some other stuff I'm definitely going to buy Udemy courses. So I actually bought one a while ago to teach myself how to play piano and things like that. So I've been big on self-learning. I feel like I'm in school again right now, to be honest with you. And there's also a meditation book that I've been paying attention to, and it's a learning aspect to that, learning how to meditate. So it's something that I really do feel like I'm back in school right now, man, and really doing the thing, because knowledge is power, bro.
Embrace it.
Hell yeah.
You run away from knowledge, you're running away from your freedom.
100%, man. But we up out of here, man. We will catch y'all next trip, and say goodbye to the people, brother.
Peace.
Peace.